Hello, beautiful souls. This is Michelle with Upgrade and Progress. Welcome to my channel. I have no idea how you found your way here, but welcome. Have a seat. Let's chit chat for a few, shall we? So, if you don't know anything about me, again, my name is Michelle. Upgrade in Progress is a channel I created. My Instagram name is Upgrade in Progress 5D, and my website is www.upgradeinprogress.com. I decided to do Upgrade in Progress a few years back when I woke up and kind of started down the ascension path, and I did not have any idea what the hell was going on, but I instinctively and intuitively started realizing that there was literally some sort of upgrade happening to humanity. So that just resonated with me. So I'm like, here we go. Although I must admit, I think I sounded crazy to many people a couple years ago when I started talking about upgrading. But lo and behold, 2020 showed up and started helping all of us conspiracy theorists, angel followers, star seekers, whatever, that may have appeared crazy to the sleeping masses many years ago are now starting to, I think, have a little bit of a different view. I think that's why 2020 was always called the Great Awakening. I had no idea it was going to unfold like this, but holy shit, here it is. Boop. Literally, like we're flipping upside down. I have my own theories on what's happening based on the information that I receive when I go into meditation. So I kind of consider myself a professional meditator. I do it many hours a day, and the things that I'm experiencing are just out of this world, unbelievable. Who would have thought? Sometimes I think I'm crazy, but I know that I'm not. There's something miraculously happening. And I do say miraculously because never in a million years would I have thought that I would be sitting here right now talking, making a video for YouTube and talking about the topics that I'm talking about, because I was a Harley riding, therapist, and that was kind of my thing. And I had, I guess, a persona that's who I was. And even though I understand those qualities, I'm starting to realize that that's not who I am, and that we're all kind of coming into. And so many of those I suppose characters that I've played in my 52 years have gone by the wayside, and now I'm coming into, I think we're coming into who we're truly supposed to be. And that my understanding now is that we are all infinite beings of light, and here having a temporary human experience. And that makes sense to me, especially with what I've tapped into. And I always knew that the soul, there was something inside of me that made me different than everybody else. And understanding that at a very deep level early on then kind of sets the stage for, it doesn't make sense. If we're all so individual, why is everybody always just kind of doing the same thing? And I was always over here going, well, I'm not. So I picked every role in life truly to stay outside of the norm. I mean, at 16 or 15, I was like, guess what, guys, I'm gay. And this was back in the 80s when everybody's like, what, fuck, what? And then, after that, I got pregnant and became a single lesbian mother, and then, a partner. And then, so I guess my point is I know what it's like to be on the fringes of society right from the get-go. And even, I suppose, even before then, like realizing that I was adopted, realizing that right from the beginning, I thought in my 3D life I wasn't wanted, but I came to realize that, oh, I chose all of these things because every single one of those characters that I played, an adoptee, and then a child whose mother really didn't want her and didn't like her, and then a child who was not like everybody else, and then a young, I mean, just outside and recognizing that every single one of those um, perceived rejections along my path led me right to this moment where I had to find that self love, because I literally, part of my own healing was coming to the realization that I had been rejected by every single person that was close to me in my life, in some form. And I know that we've all experienced it, but I think it was part of my journey and part of my healing to go, whoa, I mean, literally every single person in my life has rejected me at some point, and I had to go through that healing of that to recognize that, oh, I had to feel what that was like. I had to feel that vulnerability and that sense of isolation and not being wanted or not being loved or not being liked or not belonging. Um, Part of my healing journey was absolutely diving head into all of that stuff. And it was not fun. It was not fun to experience, that kind of vulnerability and those kinds of feelings. But the way that I had created my healing template, and I didn't know this at the time, so that's how I came to believe that there's help around us that ease us into these things, was that my emotional shit started coming up in meditation. So in the beginning, when I started my sessions, it was, in my mind, it was for my body. That's how I was going to heal my body. But what I didn't realize was that as I was healing my body and focusing on the energy moving around my body, that I was putting myself into sort of this relaxed meditative state. And as I did that, then emotions just naturally started flowing to the surface. And I remember when it first started happening, I would be completely still. I would have already done my movement, dancing or yoga or smoke or whatever it was. And then I would just kind of come to a complete stop, a complete stillness. And then I'd be in that stillness for a while. And then all of a sudden I would feel this little flicker. I don't know why, but always on my lip. The left side of my lip would just start to kind of feel like a little quiver. And then all of a sudden, just emotions would start to come up. So it was almost like Pavlov's dog. Once I started feeling this thing, I started realizing that was going to come up. So this was the trigger, and it kind of cued me to take a deep breath and relax and allow the emotions, because when it first started happening, I could feel the resistance, and I didn't want to cry, and I didn't want to feel those feelings. So that in and of itself, that little window of recognizing it and being triggered and then trying to stop it, is exactly what I had to undo and allow. So all of this stuff started coming up, and this little triggering of my lip to kind of signal me that emotions were coming up did go away. It went away probably after several months of that. Once I kind of got used to just allowing the flow of emotions, they came more freely. And so I could just be dancing and moving and doing whatever, and then all of a sudden, I could be in a full-blown cry, or I could be full-blown laughing. So what was coming and what was purging was just, just amazing. So my healing kind of, like I said, started taking place deep in meditation and in that meditative state. So I have no idea why I got onto that path. I've already kind of got lost on it, but I think my point is that I carved out that time for healing, and it has been extremely beneficial in revealing ways to take care of ourselves, ways for me to take care of myself when these things come up, in the outside world. And some of the other things that I've really noticed is that, and I think I said this in my last video, was that I was talking about the chakra system, and I said when my heart broke wide open, everything changed for me. There was a moment kind of in meditation where I was just, I was giving up. Like, it was the beginning of my awakening. It was kind of when I was experiencing depression and sort of spiraling down. There was a moment in meditation where I gave up. I surrendered and literally just kind of did a back dive off the planet, like into just the abyss. Like, I don't know, God, I can't do it anymore. I surrender. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what to do. And this whole time, I'm crying. I'm just literally, utterly defeated in not knowing where to go or what to do. So, and I thought I was a pretty intelligent woman. I have a master's degree, I'm very confident in myself. So for me to get to that point, I literally was like, I don't know how to play this game, because I thought I did everything right, but I don't understand what's happening. So that surrendering really was the beginning of laying the foundation for very strong faith, because what had happened after I surrendered and I was crying and purging and just going, just take me home, take me away, very shortly. And I don't quite remember if it was immediate or if it was in that session or it was even the next session the next day. I know it was closely related, but I don't know if it was instantaneous. I felt and was provided the most unbelievable, incredible, indescribable, unconditional love. I literally was held and comforted in the arms of God or the angels or whatever, because the feeling was so overwhelming that I was like, I never again from that moment ever said I'm alone. Whoa. I had my moments of forgetting that I'm surrounded, because it was like maybe that was just one experience, but over the last few years and keep turning in and keep experiencing, I went, no, this is truly it. There's so much more going on that is now being revealed that I don't know how to make sense of it. Everything just got crazy for a little while, but crazy good. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it seemed like I was going crazy, but yet there was literally something inside me that said, it's okay. It's just part of the undoing. Letting go of all of that stuff that we hang onto so desperately, that this can't be true. Oh my God, it cannot be true. People are going to think I'm crazy. That kind of hanging on to that is what harms us. And it's the surrender of, no, this is really happening. There is something taking care of me. There is something providing for me, because I couldn't do this. I was ready to check out, and now all of a sudden I have this new, completely different operating system and belief and faith. And I'm not saying it happened instantaneous, but there's nobody ever on the outside of me that can tell me that God doesn't exist, or angels don't exist, or light beings, or whatever they are, whatever it is, energy, something that we can't quite comprehend, something we can't quite articulate, is there helping us, taking care of us, and almost, it's almost the feeling of, you don't know what's coming, but that's part of what it is that you have to let go of. Just let go, and you're going to slide right into heaven. You're going to slide right into the things that you feel that's going to be a reality. Again, I have a hard time articulating what it is that I feel and what it is that I'm experiencing in these meditations, because it sort of gets lost in translation. It doesn't make sense in the outside world, but it makes perfect sense in here. It's like, oh, okay, I got you. So right now I'm supposed to be recognizing divine timing and patience. And okay, so every day when I go back, I get, I go back in and I go home again, and it's like, okay, just this is it. Just be in this moment. And it really is learning to not live in the future and certainly not live in the past, but living in this moment right now is where the gold is, especially after we kind of clear our channel. Until we clear our channel, living in the moment is kind of hard and it's kind of challenging because all of that stuff is still in our mind and in our hearts and in our bodies. It's in there. It's energy. It's, we don't even really realize that until we start purging. And so I felt what it's like to purge, because after I purged, I literally kind of felt empty. I'm like, oh, what is this feeling? It's like there was nothing there. So it helped kind of give some definition and some understanding to when we purge, it leaves us and it's being replaced by the downloads, by the information, by the knowing, by the feelings, by the sensations, by the experience, and by the faith. So it's unfamiliar, but it's still comforting, and it resonates as true, but it just doesn't quite make sense yet. And for me, it's in that it's like, okay, I know this isn't going to make sense to you because it doesn't quite make sense to me, but it is. And it's okay, because just do your inner work. Just stay in here, or stay in here. Don't worry about what's going on. Just figure out how you're feeling about this. Learn to sit with it. Learn ways to calm. Learn ways to recognize, your own anxiety or your own depression, and then start putting things in to help yourself feel better. And then that's how we kind of build up this world that we're creating. That was the paradox that I came to understand, is that it's a very individual process that we're going through, but we are all one. And it seems like a paradox, and some of the things that I've shared seem like a paradox. Like I put something out on social media the other day when I was refusing to wear the mask, and the absurdity behind the reasons behind it, because they're saying, you might be asymptomatic and, you should do it because of X, Y, and Z. And I thought, I'm healthy. I can't be responsible for everybody else. I can't be blamed because, Joe got the virus. I can't have people saying that, it's Michelle and all the other Michelles out there that aren't wearing the mask is the reason that Joe Blow got sick. No, the reason Joe Blow got sick is because Joe Blow doesn't take care of himself. Joe Blow is vulnerable to a virus because he probably eats like shit and does not take care of himself. So Michelle and all the Michelles that don't wear masks are not responsible. So that's where it's like, that's why I said I'm not responsible for other people's choices. And that kind of sounds like the antithesis of, oneness, but really oneness is about taking responsibility for ourselves, because if we're not healed, then we're projecting our ugliness, our darkness, our hate onto others. And so it's an energetic responsibility to, clean your energy, cleanse your energy, because that shit's nasty when it, starts spreading all over the place. And that's really what's happening, is there's just a bunch of ugly energy out there. But I'm not one that's spreading it. I clean myself. I clean my aura. And my energy. So what I'm putting out there is for the benefit of not only me, but everybody else. And I think that's what's meant by do your inner work, so that we're not triggered or affected by what's happening out there, because they haven't done their inner work yet. And each one of us will come into doing that in our own time. Examples, one by one. Somebody's going to look at this video or see me and go, I'm going to try that. And that's how it starts. And And somebody else who's putting out their videos, I watched those, and it's like, I'm going to try that, because everyone has a seed, everyone has a breadcrumb, and we just pick what we can. It doesn't, all of it doesn't have to resonate. Just, hey, if they do it, I'm going to try it too. I'm going to try what works for me. That's it. That's all I want to do. I don't want to tell anybody this is what you need to do. This is just my truth. I'm owning my truth, and my truth is I'm ascending. I don't want to play in the lower vibrations anymore. I don't like being around the energy of projection and hate and aggression and hostility. I like being in love and enlightenment and joy and kindness, because that's who I am. So I need that kind of energy surrounding me. And right now, I can't find it. I mean, I know it's out there. I feel it online in some channels, which is why I go there. But personally, I'm not surrounded by it. And that has the potential and has kind of pulled me down sometimes. But again, I keep elevating, knowing that in divine timing, everything is coming. If I'm meant to have a significant other or a twin flame or a soulmate or whatever, I already know that that person has to reflect my heart. They have to have already done their work, because I will not be projected on by anybody, especially a significant other. And I can't meet anybody's expectations. You have to meet your own. You have to meet your own needs, and then two people come together to help make the lives better. I don't need anybody to make me whole, and I don't want to attract anybody who needs another person to make them whole. I'm waiting for my whole person. And if they show up, they show up. And if they don't, then I'm meant to be alone. But that's just like where I'm at. And I think the same thing with friendships as well. It's like I can have an acquaintance and have conversations, but I can't share space and time with somebody who doesn't emanate from their heart like I do, because it becomes too uncomfortable. When you clear your channel, you become really vulnerable and sensitive to the energies, and you have to protect yourself. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And it's not selfish. It's actually the opposite of selfish, because if I didn't do that, if I didn't protect myself, then I would literally shrink back down to who I was, and I could get irritated and irritable because of the influences that are around me. So it is in my best interest and everybody's best interest to take care of myself. And I believe that is the case for everybody. Clear your own energy, learn to live from your heart, and never let anything outside of you close it. Just let, because there's still going to be hatred, there's still going to be ugliness outside you, but the difference is, rather than react to it, we just now go, okay, that's not for me, and back away and gravitate to those things. The law of attraction is, I will draw to me those things that are like me, and that's, that's where I'm at right now. It's divine timing. It's knowing that I'm attracting that which is similar to me, and if it takes a minute and it takes a little while, then okay, that's okay. I'm not in any hurry. So, I hope this helped. At least it didn't hurt, I like to say. But thank you for taking this ride and this little journey with me. And thank you for the comments, and a shout out to my one follower who left comments, Marie Mohler with Color the Magic. Check out her channel, because she's phenomenal, and she does some amazing channeling with Mother Mary. So thank you guys. I love you. And I'll see you on the journey.